Hi guys, this little project's slightly different to doing sort of, well, it ain't actually, because it is making stuff out of steel and a bit of welding and a bit of machining. Basically what I'm up to is, the other day I was looking through YouTube because I watch a lot of other people's channels, and Cloud42, I think he's in Canada or America somewhere. He was making a track on ceiling for his cameras because, like me, forever kicking tripod, and wherever you want to work on milling machine or wherever you want to work on the lathe, you've got your camera set up, it's in your way. You wind and handle and whack, and cameras all over the place. As you'll have seen on many of my videos, I'm always whacking camera or knocking it. I try and edit it out if I can, but sometimes it's a critical part you're doing and you're going to lose it. So I thought, yeah, I've been wanting to do an overhead system for a long time and just never been a lazy sod got round to it. So what have I done? Cloud42, we used some Unistrut. When I saw it I thought, yeah, I used to use Unistrut and Zebs all the time at work. We used to mount cable tray and cable clips for big armoured cables to it. And I thought, yeah, that's what I need. I was talking to brother-in-law down at cafe the other night, and I said, oh, I need to get some Unistrut. And he says, what for? And so I told him, and he said, are you stupid? I says, why? He says, what have you got at the back of your garage? I said, a load of junk. He said, aye, a load of junk and stainless steel conduit. He says, from when you had your business? I said, yeah, I have. I said, well, what's wrong with using that? And I got to thinking and thought, well, it would be absolutely ideal. It'd be perfect. So that's what I've done. 2 lengths of 25mm conduit and the various adapters I've made, which you'll see on, I'll put in a video so far. There's 28 videos I think. All got me chopped up, some of them are way long. Need chopping down so I can try and make it into just one little episode. So I'm looking at them now. You probably can't see them, but you will at the end. And I hope you think it's okay, because I do. I think it's going to solve a lot of problems for me, where I've been bashing camera, and now I can mount it and leave it. Okay guys, so in advance, thanks for watching. If you like it, give us a subscribe if you're not already, and like and share or whatever. A thumbs up would be great, thank you. Cheers guys. Okay guys, so what am I doing? So what we've got is 2 lengths of stainless steel 316 conduit, which I've had over from when I had my electrical business, and I've had these for years, but they've got a bit manky. They've been outside. I've just given them a rub up with some steel wool and a bit of emery. There were rust spots all over, but not from the stainless, I don't think. I think the rust were from what it's been laid at the side of. So what am I going to do with them? So I'm going to put one over the lathe, and I'm going to put one over the milling machine. And I'll just make a piece of tube that comes down from the ceiling from this tube, and some sort of sliding mechanism so I can slacken it, slide it and tighten it, with a plate on the bottom above my, obviously, head height, so that I don't whack my head into it when I'm not using it. And then the mag base can stick to the underside of that with all the adapters and things on, so I can get camera in position. So basically I'd be able to put the camera over here, I'd be able to put it here, here, there. The same at this side where the milling machine is. I'd be able to put it anywhere from, if I wanted to see the DRO. Sorry, I swapped hands, I've got a wobbly hand, terribly this hand. So I could operate from here, looking into work from the front, or from this side, or indeed from behind. If I put the conduit probably in the centre of maybe the milling machine head. I don't know. Probably work out about right that, and then I can swing it either way. That's my plan. That's what I'm on with. My next little project. So yeah, camera mount. Want something that's going to be stable enough and strong enough to hold it. How about that? I've got a few of these. Or maybe just the nut. This is the conduit, the stainless steel conduit. Could bore that through there. Put an M8 grip screw in it. That could slide along the conduit, couldn't it? Could make maybe 4, 2 for the right, 2 for the left of the milling machine and lathe. That's an idea. Four to do in total. 25mm stainless conduit. M8 hole drilled and tapped in there. Tighten it up. It'll be tight. Slacken it. I'm able to slide that with the camera on it anywhere I want. I'm going to make 4. So 4 nuts bored. well, I just finished building this and I've got a use for it. Excuse me, I've got a use for it already. So these are the drops for the camera, to hold the camera, and again it's 20mm stainless steel conduit, but the end, if you can see that, so that end needs dressing up so that I can weld a straight bolt to it, and yeah, we've got something to hold it, a steady rest. Because I've got to machine up a stud. I'll show you what I'm doing. I've got to machine up a stud. Move that out of the way. See that? A short stud, thread it, M8, screw that through it, tack weld it to it, and then sit that stud on there. This is stainless, and TIG weld that on. So obviously I need to face that as well before I thread it, with the idea that that head will be below the surface, that'll be on there, and that'll be TIG welded round there, just a short piece, and that'll leave me my thread that'll screw into me my collar to lock it onto the big tube. So yeah, we're making progress, but yeah. Brilliant. Absolutely. Well chuffed. But yeah, fine tuning. Never used it, so that's the first time I've used it. But I'll use it 4 times because I've got 4 of these to do. They're all 16 inches long, that'll hang down from the ceiling, 16, with a plate on and the magnet base, or the mild steel plate it's going to have to be. So I've got to find some way of fastening a mild steel disc to the bottom of this. So that can come out now. This is a sample of the 20mm conduit. I've turned that down so that now fits tight over there, and that'll be TIG welded on there. Down the centre of this we're putting an M8 thread, and from this end that screw will screw through it, leaving enough thread to screw onto there and come through to bite on the 25mm tube to stop it moving for the camera mount. So all I need is that much thread there, that's all. So this bolt should be okay. I've got some longer ones anyway. Idea being, I drill that clear 6.7, 6.8, but I ain't got a 6.8. Well, I have actually found one. M8 tap it, screw that screw in, TIG tack it, just with TIG welder, just tack it so that can't ever come undone, because that's going to then go inside that piece of conduit. And the idea, why am I doing it like this? Well, my thoughts are, I've turned that shoulder on there, I've turned all the ends of the conduit so that it's square, so all these pieces of tube are now square at the end, right? And the idea is that that would go on there square, so when my thread sticks out it'll be dead square, so when I'm screwing this up onto the camera mount it's not wobbling all over. That's sort of from an engineering point of view. I just thought it'd look nicer. I mean, you know, somebody said, why don't you just drill a hole inside and put a self-tapper in? Well, you could do, but that's not really quality, is it? I want to make it quality, I want to make it nice. So that's what we're on with. So I'm going to drill this now and tap a portion of it, and I'll carry on tapping it as I cut it down, because I need 4 like that, and then I need another 4 to go in the other end of the tube to be tigged in with probably a small, I don't know, M5 or M6 countersink screw, with the hope that it'll bite through the square steel plate or the round steel plate without deforming it. Right guys, I'm really struggling here. I used the starter tap, and I took this out and put it in the vise and did it by hand, and I just got past the starter parts on the thread. As soon as you got to the main thread it was pretty tight, and I felt it was probably going to snap the tap. So I'm going to have to go through with a 7mm because it's the nearest I've got. Let me just have a look on my chart for Imperial. You see what happened there? I'll explain in a second. What happened there was the inverter saw that the motor was being overloaded, so it brought in a thing called torque boost. I'm sure a lot of these Chinese inverters probably don't have it, but this Omron has got torque boost, as I believe my Toshiba one has on the milling machine too. So what it does is it brings in torque boost and gives it an extra whack, which you saw happen. It stalled out and then torque boost kicked in and gave it some more power. Quite a nice thing out of these inverters, clever. I think that's enough thread for that one, and I can just carry it on as I make the next one, because I've got to slice this off now. Well, it's cutting it, but it's HSS, is that, and that's stainless. I don't know whether I'd be better off using my other one that I made, which would be this one. You can always stick a new cutter in, but that's a carbide insert which is going to cut stainless a lot better, so I think I'm going to swap this out. So that's the effect I was looking for. So I say that one's tight fit in there, but the TIG welding inside and then round there, and I've made the other three, so there's 4 made now. Okay guys, so I'm going to do some welding with a TIG welder today. Got it all set up, nice point on it. What do we do before we start welding? Any kind of welding at all, but in particular TIG welding, and even more particular if you're TIG welding aluminium, you'll be using AC, high frequency, which is a total killer to some certain things, one of them being a mobile phone. Get rid of it. The other being your wallet. Any credit cards, so no. I have popped one many years ago. I was leaning against a steel bench and a guy was doing some welding a bit further on the same steel bench. It wiped my credit card out. So if you're going to do any welding of any kind, take out your credit cards and your phone, any other electronic equipment you might have on your person. It can damage it. So I've got the little GoPro with me, and I'm going to have a go. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to have a go at setting up this again. Now, I did this once before. I made this little framework and the GoPro is going to sit inside that looking through it, and I'm going to try and point it at the welding while I'm welding. How my welding is going to be, I don't know, because my nerves are not that clever. My right hand, especially my left hand, isn't bad, but I can't weld with my left hand, so it's the right hand. So all I can do is try and get a good rest on something with my wrist, which you do anyway, because you can't weld like that. It's impossible. Nobody can. But obviously, the closer to your body your arms are and your elbows bent, then the more control you've got over your two limbs. As I say, I'm going to be using that, and there's no button or anything on it. I've got a foot pedal. I've gone through the settings of that foot pedal once before. It's one I modified so that I can set a maximum power, so that if I'm going to be doing welding, and I know for a fact that the maximum current I'd use is say 85 amps, I can bring my foot pedal down, switch it off with a switch I fitted, and floor it. That activates it, but it doesn't activate the torch. It only activates my current readouts on my scale. I can then set it on here at 85 amps full current, and then I knock the switch back off again and away I go. Now then, basically, if I floor that pedal right to the floor, the maximum that this is going to get is 85 amps. So anywhere between floored, fully down pedal and right up is between pretty much 0 or 5 amps or whatever, and 85 amps. So you've got a much better control over your weld. Now, a lot of people have said that's rubbish. You floor it and it goes to full current. Well, on this particular welder, you floor this, it's over 200 amps, which will probably blow this to pieces, and my TIG torch end. No, you don't. You're better off if you've got a full scale deflection on your pedal of the maximum current you're going to use, which is what I've done, and it works. So we're going to get all set up, and I'm going to try and set this camera up on this arm and see where we go. Alright. guys, don't know if you can see this, but we're finished. So I've got a conduit 25mm stainless tube, full length of the workshop nearly, not quite but nearly. And at this side, this is over the milling machine, we've got another one that runs from the far wall down to here, and from it we've got these drops. I'll demo this one, you might see this one better. So these are drops that I could put a mag block on, and that would be fastened on there like that, and you can put your camera etc. from that. Okay, if I want to move it, I just slacken it. Slide that wherever I want it. Put a second camera on this one. Slide that one wherever I want it. Same over here, you can see it. Let's swivel around a bit. Same again here. Go from the wall right across the lathe. I've got one that will go over the workbench and over the vise. If they get annoying and in my way, I'll swing it out of the way. Okay, job done. I've ordered some longer camera mounts. I'll show you what I've got, but they're not really sort of adjustable arms, etc. But you have to really tighten it to make it grip, and if you put any kind of weight on it, it droops. Obviously, I'll be putting that camera, what you're seeing now, excuse me, I'll be putting that camera on it, and the little GoPro. The GoPro's not so bad because it's quite light, but this obviously, this other camera is a little bit heavier, so it's going to be something substantial that I need. Of course, I've got all those arms from the mag bases. I have about 4 sets of those. I suppose never all articulating arms on them, they lock up really good, so I could maybe even make some of them up. But basically, we'll unclamp and have a little walk around. But yeah, basically we're finished. So that's right over at milling machine. So I'm hopeful that I'm not going to be bashing that tripod all the time now, kicking it. I need some camera mounts. A guy's supposed to be going to get me one. I want some to match this one. This is just that cheap Aldi tripod that came with the telescope. I think they were £29. I gave telescope away to my friend, and I've kept this because it's got that mount on that suits my camera. And my brother-in-law is going to try and get me another one of these that he thinks somebody's got and don't want. I can sort of somehow hack it up and take that base off with the swivel handle and everything. That'd be handy to have on end of a mag. Lovely, thanks guys. So that's the completion of the adjustable camera mounts from the ceiling. I'll post that up once I've edited it all. Did quite a bit of TIG welding, but unfortunately my TIG welding ain't right clever just at the moment, but it's sufficed and we've done it all. Okay guys, thanks for watching.